What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. This time about mids, the second part of the Building a Team in Dragon Ball series. So last week, as a quick recap, I kind of talked about my overall team theory, how I feel like the devs are trying to make people build teams, which basically they don't want to see the same teams, they want to see the same characters. There are a couple of examples of repeated teams, but they're very uncommon. And about points, just who do you pick, why do you pick them, and basically you play whoever you want as long as you don't care about them dying and you support them somehow. So today we're going to talk about mids. But just like last week, I'm going to talk about another team concept before we actually talk about mids, and this is going to be about shells. So this is from Marvel. It's essentially a two-character combination that is strong enough that you could just put a third character with them. That's my understanding, at least. So in Marvel, you had like your Dante Virgil, your Doom Virgil, more Doom, like those type of combinations. In this game, you have that as well. But I want to talk about it in the terms of 2-man and 3-man teams. So an example of a 3-man team, just because this will make it a little bit easier to explain, would be this, and I definitely picked the wrong character first. This team, which is, this is a repeated team actually. It would be this team. Most people would say this team is pretty strong, and I think so too actually. This team is pretty strong, but it has the weakness that when you lose one character, especially if you lose Trunks, the team gets a lot weaker. So the goal of a team like this is to win the 3 vs 3 so that you have a really big advantage for the rest of the game, right? There are several examples of teams like this. Three-man teams. Another 3-man team, in my opinion, would be this. This also very similar. If you lose one character, and I think in this case, if you lose GT or lose Bardock, the team gets a lot weaker. But as long as all 3 characters are there, it's a very strong team. Now, a 2-man team is a team with a lot of strong combinations of characters. So, for example, the winning team of CEO, in my opinion, is one of these teams. So this team has multiple shells, multiple 2 pairs that are all strong. It has Bardock SSJ Goku, it has GT Goku SSJ Goku, and it has Bardock GT. So it has multiple 2-pair combinations that are all strong. So probably the weakest combination on this team is probably GT Bardock. Why would I say that? Because you might be like, man, okay, GT and Bardock are OD. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. But what does GT get from Bardock as opposed to what does Bardock get from GT? Bardock gets a lot from GT. GT does not get that much from Bardock. So that's how you can parse out who's helping each other out. We did a short exercise like that last week as well, but just keep thinking like that as far as your character goes. So with that in mind, right, there's some teams that it's about the entire unit. There's some teams that have multiple combinations of strong things, and thus it is strong. We can talk about mids. So, mids. What are important for your mids? So, probably the number one thing, and it would seem pretty obvious, is the assist should be good. The assist should be good. You're there to support your point pretty much. So you want an assist that helps them somehow, whether it be the classic Adult Gohan DP assist, it could be like Trunks assist. I know Trunks is not a common mid, but I actually think he's a really good mid, personally. Some people would say that Bardock is a good middle, and he's like kind of a hybrid, but I feel like he is a better point. Personally, he can function as a mid, but it's not like his ideal position, and that's because of other qualities. So the next step, besides a good assist that supports the point, would be they might be meter hungry for some reason. And this is probably the biggest thing about all the Adult Gohan Yamcha people. So Gohan is a pretty good character. I think we all agree that he's probably like a top 5, top 7, top tier character. But the fear of Gohan is when he has meter. When he has meter, he can do a lot of stuff that he can't do normally. While most traditional points like Kid Buu or maybe Bardock, for example, they don't need meter to do what they're good at. Gohan needs meter to do what he's good at. Trunks needs meter to do what he's good at. For people who play Piccolo Assist, Piccolo obviously really likes meter. So the fact that they need meter, it's like the character could be a point, but their assist is good enough and they require meter, so you could have this situation where you watch your opponent / beat them really bad with your point character, bring in your mid, and then let your mid do the work. Another thing too is you want your mid to be able to use your anchor's assist as well as your point. So let's look at this. Of course, one of the classic. Remember, this is the World Champ team, right? The World Champ team of Adult Gohan, Gotenks, Yamcha, not in that order. So you want your mid to be able to use your anchor's assist as well as your point. In this case, Gotenks gets the DP assist, right? So he can stop people from jumping, super dash at them in the air. He can touch people, call Yamcha, do mix-up, super dash at people on the ground, call Yamcha, do mix-up. But Gohan, right? Gohan can use Yamcha pretty much the same way as Gotenks, and he gets mixed too with Yamcha, and he can use Gotenks assist as well. The only difference being he needs more meter than Gotenks to function. Gotenks is basically okay, fine without meter. When he has meter, he gets Ghost, as we remember, so it's fine to put him on point. Now, the last point I feel that you need for your mid is kind of ties back to last week. It really helps if your mid character is good enough that when your point dies, then you feel okay and you think you can win. So in the case of a lot of Adult Gohan Yamcha teams, I mean, this is a tried and true show. Like, it's a very tried and true show. Even in the case, honestly, I can use my team as an example. So I know I made a video about playing 4 characters before, right? So Trunks is Bardock, Trunks, Yamcha is the main team that I run these days. And honestly, when Bardock dies, I don't feel like it's the end of the world. Like, I still feel like I got it. I think everything's under control. I think everything's A-okay. When I play GT instead of Trunks, I don't feel so great. So, like I said before, this team is more of a 3-man team. Like, the goal is to win with Bardock and have the support and just have a kind of rolling plan. Like, it gets more and more out of control with this team, while the Bardock, Trunks, Yamcha team is more like the other type of team. There are multiple combinations of good characters in that team that I could use in different ways. So this is why this team is the counter pick for me, and the Trunks one is a main one. Now, with that in mind, let's look at mids in the game. Okay, so Adult Gohan is an obvious one. Trunks is one that I think he can play that role. Most people think of him as an anchor, but I actually think of him as a middle character. I think that's his best slot as a middle character. Both Adult Gohan and Trunks are both really good examples of mids, because you don't, like, everyone would agree, even though they're good when they're out, you wouldn't want them out at the start. Like, everyone pretty much agrees on that. Some more rare picks for second would be, I actually really like Ginyu second. For Ginyu teams, this kind of goes back to the, this character can be a point, but if you play him second, you can have the, I beat you up with my point, I'll bring in my second character destroys you 3 vs 2, and then we make the game roll out of control like that. Other good potential second characters. So Bardock is one, Bardock Goku being a pretty common shell, but I think the whole X character Bardock Goku is more about, like, if my point dies, I want to feel good, more than the Bardock assist being so good that he should be a second, if that makes sense. I want to look for a couple of other decent seconds. So if you play Fenrich's team, you use Cell as a second. And with that team, it's actually, for that team specifically, it's actually a pretty good pick. Overall, I don't think of Cell really as a second. He's like point second, kind of like Bardock. Hit would be another one. Point second, kind of like Bardock. There's not that many outright dedicated second characters, I think. Out of the characters in the game, I honestly kind of feel like the Dbfz, so Gohan, Team Gohan over here, Team Gohan, and Cooler are definitely picks for second for sure. A lot of the mids in this game are either, they can also kind of be a point or also kind of be an anchor. Well, hopefully that makes sense. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, leave them there too. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and we will talk about anchors next week. Peace.